Hey guys, it's D Moneyballa. Today we're going to be automating emails with this, a Raspberry Pi. We're going to be using Python to send those emails to people, so get ready and we will be doing that today. The reason we're going to be using a Raspberry Pi is because it's very low power. It's very easy to put Python scripts on this and have them run on a cron job, so you get to tell it how often to send the emails that you want to send. The emails I'm going to be sending are love letters to my wife. She says I don't send enough of them, so I'm just going to make this guy send all of them for me. So the first step we're going to do is we're going to go into Gmail and we're going to allow less secure apps. If you have two-factor authentication on your Gmail account, it's not going to let you enable less secure apps. So I just created a new email account for this. If we go to myaccount.google.com/less secure apps, it's going to let us toggle this on or off. You're going to want to keep this on, and that's going to allow us to send emails from our Raspberry Pi, and we can do it automatically. So that's the first step. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to where our project's going to live. We're going to make a directory called email automation. So we're going to cd into email automation, and then here we're going to do code-oss. I'm just going to bring up Visual Studio Code, and we're going to open folder. It's going to be development, and that's the one we're going to open. Okay, so now we've got email automation. We're going to do a new Python file. We're going to call it main.py. Don't call this email.py. You'll confuse Python. So you can call it whatever you want, just don't call it email.py. And we're going to do some imports. We're going to import smtplib, SSL, and we're going to import random. And we're going to set this up to run on port 465. We're going to set up an SMTP folder server. So we do that. We're going to set that equal to smtp.gmail.com. Then you're going to set up your password to your email address. This could be the one that you just... I created a fake email address for this, just a burner one, so that I can send it from this securely. And so you're going to want to replace password with your password user. This is going to be who's sending the emails, so you're going to do user@gmail, or you're going to use whatever Gmail account you just use. You can also run this manually with an input, but since we're going to be running this on a cron job, you'd either have to pass in a sysarg or just keep it hard-coded in here or read it from a file. We're just going to keep it hard-coded in here just for simplicity. And my use case, I'm going to be sending random generated love letters to my wife, just so that she feels loved and so that I don't have to send them by hand every time. So we're going to create a few empty lists that we're going to fill from things that we read in a file, and ends. So I've got some files in another directory. They're going to be called lines, middles, endings, and subjects. So we can look at those here. If we go back, we go to love letters, we can look at it, and it's just a bunch of lovey-dovey stuff that I am sending to my wife. Like she's more contagious than the coronavirus, that kind of stuff. And then we've also got random subjects that we're going to read in, so I'm going to have these in some GitHub gists, so if you are going to do the exact same thing as me, you can send love letters to your significant other with Python, and it will be more efficient than doing it manually every time. So when you do, if you are going to be reading in text to these, Make sure you pass in the full file path. I'm just going to copy that over. Make sure you give it the full file path to work with so that when it runs with cron, it knows what it's doing. Oh man, that didn't copy, huh? Copy and then come here and go. Okay. Oh, whatever. We know the whole thing. So development. And then we're gonna do letters lines.txt as read file. So we're gonna read that, and then we're gonna set lines equal to rf.read. Boop. And then we're going to split on the new line so that every time I write, so that every line is its own entry. We're going to, since we've got 4 of these files, I'm just going to copy this 4 times. Boot. Then I'm going to fix it later. So instead of lines here, this one's middles. And this is middles. And then instead of lines here, this is endings. And this is, what did I set that to? Ends. And then this is not lines. This is subjects. And we're going to do subjects. And each of those are separate files with unique entries. And now we're going to have some local variables, just because I can. So now we're going to set the message. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You know, those big old lines as we can do. So we're going to set subject. And that we can have it named subject so that it's a keyword so it's easier to keep track of. Then we're going to do we're going to put in an opener here. We're going to put in a line 1. Oh, we want to put a comma after opener. So that's like, hey honey, line uno, line dos, and line trace. Cool. Then you're going to sign off, you know. And there you go, you got your nice sign off. Then after that we have to add our format. So we're going to do this subject is equal to random.choice subjects. So that's just going to randomly choose a subject. Opener is equal to random. I need to put an O there. Choice, and then you give it openers. So we're going to have it choose a random opener, and we're going to put our line 1 equal to a random line from our lines array. And I'm just going to copy this so that I don't have to type it every single time. Here's line 2. We're going to have that equal to middles. Line 3, we're going to choose from the ends because that's the last line we put in. We're going to create a context, an SSL context. Then we're going to open up the SMTP lib with the SSL certificate. And we're going to pass in the Gmail. Actually, we set up a variable up top, so we're just going to use that variable. I'm going to pass in the port and the context. I'm going to do that as server. And then we're going to log in using our user and the password. And then we're going to send the email with the receiver. I don't remember if we set up a receiver variable yet. So if we didn't, we'll just set up a receiver variable right now. And so this is who your email is going to be sent to. I'm going to set receiver equal to target@gmail.com. But this should be whoever you're targeting. You can have a list and loop over them here to send multiple emails to multiple people. And you just pass in the receiver and the message after you've passed in the user. And now you are ready to start sending emails out to anybody. So now we're going to set up the cron job that's going to run this script. So cron tab-E for edit, and we're going to maximize this window so it's easier to see. And as you can see, I've got my cron tab set up from before. It was sending to my wife for the first. As you can see, I've got a cron job down here. The first column is the minutes. That second column's hours, day of month, and day of week. So you can get really specific with how often you want this to run. You leave stars for everything if you want it to run every minute. And this one is scheduled to send at 8:15 every day of every month. So it will send a love letter to my wife at 8:15 as long as the Raspberry Pi is on. To comment out a cron job, you just put a hashtag in front of it or a £. And if you wanted to have multiple jobs, you can install another one right underneath it. We're going to put stars for everything, so this is going to be months, hours, day of months, day of week. And then we can copy over our script, and this is going to send emails to my wife every minute. She's going to feel so loved. And you could use this to target whatever kind of emails you want to send out to everybody. And then to finish this, we're just going to exit it. I'm in Vim, so I do right quit, and that will install the new cron tab. And it should start working. If there's not, you can always debug it. And that's great. It worked for me, though. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you.